All right, welcome into the round pen, and this will be the first of hopefully 2 or 3 videos on just getting your colt prepared to ride for the first time. And I don't have a camera operator today, so it's stationary camera, and I'll do my best to stay in the frame if I can. I'm kind of out here by myself today. I'm gonna, first of all, I've been out here for about 15 minutes. And what I've been doing with this filly, among other things, is working on teaching her to do rollbacks. I mentioned in the previous video that her ultimate life is in cattle sorting and team sorting, which rollbacks are a must. So the way I start teaching that from the ground, so I'll just get her trotting around here, and I will run my hand down the lead rope as a pre-signal to her, like this, and then I'll bump that halter and have her roll back and go the other way. If she didn't stop and roll back, then I'd keep bumping that halter until she did. So it's not painful, but it does put her, makes her, you know, uncomfortable if she doesn't do it. And eventually she'll see the pre-cue here. Bump, she's starting to figure it out. Roll back and go the other way. You can do this walk, trot, and lope. Let's lope her off this time. Pre-cue, bump. That long kiss is the cue that I use for a horse to lope. I want her to learn that now. Okay, pre-cue, bump, lope off. Good. This little filly's smart. She's really smart. She learns fast. She's an athlete. I like her. Okay. Once more. All right. So you see she's getting pretty good at those rollbacks. And there's a lot of things that I believe these colts need to know, and as much as possible, to me, it's just smarter to teach it to them before you ride them. Some of this stuff like that, you could ride them and teach them later, but why? Why would you want to do it later when you can do it before you ride them, and they already know that stuff, and then once you get on them, it's just a lot smoother transition to being on the horse's back. So now that she's needing a little air, this is a good time to work on this next thing. She's gotten to where she follows me everywhere I go. So this is something I have not done yet with her. And what I'm going to do is just get her used to me being over her. What I have done is I've ponied her from my saddle horse a couple of times. She handled that well. And I've also, when I had her saddled, I've stood in the stirrups 2 or 3 times on both sides, and she handled that fine too. So what I'm gonna do here, and she's bareback and I took my belt off. Hopefully nothing embarrassing happens as a result of that. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I've got the lead rope crooked over my arm, just in case she needs to move off, and she does, it's not a big deal. And I just want to get her used to this kind of stuff right here. She's got her nose tipped. You want to keep their nose tipped toward you so that if they do move, then that'll move their hindquarters away from you rather than them shooting out that way and kicking you as they go away, which could happen with a real goosey colt. Could happen. She's not the type, I don't think, to do that, but I'm still going to be careful. So this right here. Okay, now you say, Steve, couldn't she kick you right there? She could. I'm watching her pretty closely. She's not giving me any indication that she wants to do that. And if she did, I'm close enough that it probably wouldn't hurt me seriously anyway. Okay, so let's turn her around here. I'll do the exact same thing on the other side. Just move this away here. Okay, so I'm just jumping up and down, and I'm purposely rubbing all over her. Her legs, see, I touched her leg there. I want her to get used to everything, touching her everywhere. Okay? And motion. And when I was ponying her yesterday, I think it was, I was waving my hat off my other horse. I had my coat on. I took my coat off and threw it on her. And she handled that really well, which makes me think she's about ready for this right here. Okay? Now I'm just putting weight on her. Okay? And I'm 62 years old, and I've earned every minute of it. Okay, when I was 42, I'd just jump on the horse's back. Can't really do that as well today. I could do it, but it'd be pretty pretty ugly. So what I'm going to do here, just put that step right there. And we'll start off. She might be just a little bit nervous about me being up above her. Right there. Okay. All right. And I'm not planning on riding this colt or even putting a leg on both sides. Okay. Instead, what I'm going to do, and again, I'll crook this over my arm, is I'm going to just gently put my weight on her here, real gently, and then I'm going to slide off. Okay. I want her thinking, yawn, this is no big deal. Okay. Now, let me tell you something about colts that I think is a really important thing. And that is that colts only buck if they're scared. 99%. The other 1% would be pain if something's hurting them. But if a colt bucks at any time, it's because they're scared. Okay? So as long as you don't scare that colt's not going to buck. All right? I've done it for many years, and I'm really confident that what I'm saying is true. They buck because they're scared. So if you don't scare them, they won't buck. So this is how you do this, and you just need to think about anything that might scare your horse and get them used to it. Tarps and plastic bags and empty milk jugs and, I don't know, flying UFOs, anything you can think of, and get your horse used to that before you get on their back. Things touching them all over, things waving all over around them. If you get them where they're okay with all this stuff, they're not going to buck. I'd be extremely surprised if this filly bucks at all when I get on her. I probably could have ridden her a week ago, but she didn't know all this stuff. She's pretty gentle, and she doesn't get too upset about things. She's pretty confident, but there's no reason for me to do that when I can do all this stuff first. Okay, so all my weight's on her. All right. Now I'm going to purposely move around and just be goofy here. Okay. There we go. I want her to get used to all of this stuff. I'm rubbing her belly, her flanks, her chest, everywhere. I'm just going to wave all around her here. And if she walks off, it's no big deal. I'll just slide off and land on the ground. All right. Or if she jumps, and I've had them do that a few times, there's no problem. You'll just land on your feet. So this kind of looks a little bit unsafe, but it's not at all. It's not unsafe in the least. If you just kind of keep both feet on the same side of the horse, you'll land on the ground if anything goes wrong. Okay. So this side. All right, good. All right. So I'll just lay over her from this side. And this is actually, her left side's her better side, but she's seeing me in both eyes, and that's really important. It's important that that horse sees you in both eyes. She sees motion in both eyes at the same time. I'm rubbing her here, and see how she's got this one front leg. You may not be able to see it in the video, but she's splayed out to hold my weight, which is really good. She needs to do that. Okay, and I'm just rubbing her. Okay, and this is really goofy looking, and you can put it on one of those goofy horse videos if you want. I don't care. Okay, but this will keep you safe. This stuff right here, this will really help this horse to be okay with stuff on her back and not get scared of it. See, she's handling all that really well. So now, since that's going okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. And again, if I was younger, I'd just jump up there, but I can still get there. All right. So now I'm not riding this horse. All right. You're not riding him unless you have one leg on either side. And I don't. But I'm rubbing her belly from both sides, both hands. Her neck, her hips. I'm just rubbing her all over. Good girl. What a good girl. All right. She's just handling that fine. Okay, good girl. So, if she wasn't good with this, I just keep doing it. Come back tomorrow and do it again. Come back tomorrow and do it again until she kind of gives me this, like, this is boring. What's next? And that's a real simple way to think about horse training. If you need a simplistic way, how long should you do something? Just do it till the horse looks bored. And then you know that you've done it enough. If your horse still looks scared or upset with whatever it is you're doing, you just need to do it some more. So to me, that's a real simple way of explaining it. All right, come at her from this side. All right, she was real goosey about her right side. You may remember that from a previous video, but she's mostly over that now. Mostly. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm going to try to get a little more balanced. Okay, what a good girl you are, baby. All right. So, why would you want to put a saddle and climb on a horse if you couldn't do this? Now, that doesn't make any sense to me. This makes a lot of sense, and it really gets the horse over this kind of stuff. Good girl. Okay, all right, so that's ride preparation. On the next video, I'll show you probably some ground driving and a few other things, getting her ready. But she's basically ready. I could ride her now if I wanted to. I could ride her now if I really wanted to, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish with a few other things that I wanna make sure she's good with before I get on her. And she's gonna be, I think, really nice, ride out nicely. There you go, baby. There you go.